It was fourth period on a dreary Thursday afternoon at Ridgeview High School in Bellingham, Washington. The kind of day when even the clocks seemed to drag. Mr. Hardwick, the calculus teacher, was deep into another lecture on derivatives, and the room was as alive as a waiting room at the DMV. Students were either zoned out, doodling, or pretending to listen while scrolling on their phones hidden under desks. Mr. Hardwick wasn't a bad teacher. He was just sharp-edged, dry. The kind of guy who cared more about the equation than the person solving it. His sarcasm had become infamous across the school halls, and most students just tried to avoid catching his attention. Outside the classroom, the faint squeak of a mop echoed in the hallway. It was Marcus Hale, the school's custodian, pushing his yellow cart past room 204. Marcus was in his mid-50s, tall, graying, and always wore the same navy blue uniform with M. Hale stitched above the pocket. Quiet. Invisible. Just another piece of the building, like the lockers or the water fountains. Hardwick, catching the sound, paused mid-sentence, turned to the class with a smirk, and pointed toward the door. "Hey," he said, loud enough to carry into the hallway. "Mr. Hale, think you can take a crack at this?" Laughter broke out. Not the loud kind. The nervous kind. The kind that says, "Is this okay?" Marcus paused. He didn't say anything. Just looked in. Then, slowly, he stepped into the classroom. He didn't joke. Didn't smirk back. He simply asked, "Mind if I give it a shot?" Hardwick, amused, stepped aside. "Be my guest." Marcus picked up the marker. Students leaned in. Someone started recording with their phone. He studied the equation. Not in hesitation, but in quiet confidence. Like someone reading sheet music they hadn't touched in years. Then, slowly, precisely, he began to write. His voice was calm, patient. "This one's a chain rule. But you've got to isolate the inner function first. Once you do that, it simplifies." Step by step, he solved the problem.
No calculator. No showmanship.
Just clean, deliberate work. When he capped the marker, the board was filled with organized logic. "That's one way to do it," he said simply. Silence. Mr. Hardwick said nothing. His mouth opened, but no words came out. Marcus nodded politely, picked up his mop, and walked out as if nothing had happened. But something had. That clip. It hit TikTok within minutes. By lunch, it was on Instagram. Caption: "Our janitor just destroyed the calc teacher." Comments flooded in. "He did that in his head? Dude's a wizard. Someone get this man a classroom." By the next day, everything had changed. In the teacher's lounge, Miss Delgado, the chemistry teacher, stared at her phone mid-sip of coffee. "You're telling me he did a full derivative chain problem from memory?" Mr. Hardwick pretended not to hear. Principal Gaines raised an eyebrow. "He's been with us, what, 6 years? No one knew he had a background. No one did." That afternoon, Principal Gaines called Marcus into the office. Marcus came in still wearing his gloves. Still smelling faintly of cleaning solution. "Can I ask you something?" Gaines said. "Do you have a background in education?" Marcus looked down, then nodded. "I went to Georgia Tech Mechanical Engineering. Full ride." Gaines blinked. "Serious?" Marcus told his story. He'd been the top of his class in Savannah, Georgia. Built his own motor at 15. Got the scholarship. But his mother got sick. Late-stage cancer. He dropped out to care for her. 1 semester became 2. Jobs piled up. Dreams faded. "I kept thinking I'd go back," he said. "But life moves." That night, he opened a box from under his bed. Inside, a Georgia Tech hoodie. Old transcripts. A photo of him and his mom on orientation day. He hadn't looked at it in years. By the next week, students were waiting outside his supply closet. Not for a broom, but for help. "Mr. Hale, can you show me how you did that?" And he did. Every afternoon after his shift, he sat in the library, walking students through equations. He explained things with a clarity they hadn't felt before. And they listened. Soon, it wasn't just students. Miss Delgado dropped by. Then Mr. Ortiz from history. "You've got a gift," she told him. "Not just for math. For reaching people." But not everyone was thrilled. Mr. Hardwick grew quieter, colder. When someone brought up Marcus in the teacher's lounge, he changed the subject. But resentment was brewing. Then, a twist. The video, now viral, landed on an education forum. A district board member saw it, called the school. By the next Monday, Marcus Hale had been offered a stipend to run an official after-school tutoring program. "Just a pilot," Gaines said. "If you're interested." Marcus looked at his hands, calloused, tired. Then up at the principal. "I haven't taught in a long time," he said. "You haven't stopped knowing," Gaines replied. That afternoon, Marcus sat in the hallway with 3 students, working through a multivariable equation. Nothing fancy. Just a man and a marker. And the world, at least this little corner of it, began to see him not as the man behind the mop, but as the teacher they never knew they had.